Okay, so today we're traveling back in time a bit. We're going to a year that didn't just bring us another standard football season. Oh no, it literally marked the awakening of a true, undeniable phenomenon. We're going to break down exactly how a young prospect went from grinding in the academy to announcing himself on the professional stage in a way that absolutely nobody could ignore. Let's dive in. You see, even before he ever stepped foot on the pitch for a senior game, the whispers had already started. The Portuguese media were just kind of catching on, right? They were writing these small, really intriguing little snippets about a so-called wonderkid developing deep within the Lisbon ranks. The anticipation was just palpable. Fans were dying to see if the rumors were actually true. And watching this whole narrative unfold was an experienced Romanian manager named László Bölöni. He was the first-team manager at Sporting CP, getting a front-row seat to this talent. But before Bölöni could make his move, something fundamental had to change in the player himself. And guys, this transformation was staggering. I mean, night and day. He went from being this scrawny island boy who was actually mocked by his peers and had to battle a literally career-threatening heart condition to this lean, powerful 17-year-old athlete. By 2002, his physical tools finally matched his raw talent. And I think this is an absolutely crucial lesson in talent development for us to take away. Raw skill often just isn't enough, right? Not until it's paired with the absolute resilience to rebuild yourself, both physically and mentally. So you might be wondering, how did this physical evolution actually translate to the pitch? Well, the answer is devastatingly well. His performances in the youth ranks were so incredibly dominant that László Bölöni just couldn't ignore him anymore. The real revelation, the aha moment, happened on the training ground. Bölöni watched as this teenager tracked back defensively, showing just unbelievable work rate. Then he proceeded to beat 3 grown defenders with a wild flurry of stepovers, and finally, smash the ball right into the top corner of the net. Bam! Bölöni turned to his assistant right then and there. He knew. The kid was unconditionally ready. To put this into perspective, his trajectory that season was completely unprecedented in Sporting CP history. Let's look at this timeline. Month 1, he's in the under-16s. By month 3, he completely bypasses the under-17s. Month 5, the under-18s. Month 7, he's on the B team. And by month 9, before the season even ends, he lands straight on the senior first team. He was just obliterating the usual stepping stones, bypassing whole generations of talent in mere months. This ascent is a total masterclass in seizing momentum. It shows what happens when relentless drive meets exceptional ability. The normal timeline of development it shatters. All of this incredible momentum built to a boiling point on October 7th, 2002. Sporting CP is hosting Moreirense at the Estádio José Alvalade, and there, named in the starting lineup, wearing the number 28 jersey, is our 17-year-old phenomenon. You can only imagine, the atmosphere in the stadium was absolutely electric. Which brings us to the most pivotal question of the night, right? One that was definitely echoing in the minds of every single fan in those stands. Could a 17-year-old actually handle the immense, crushing pressure of a full Primera debut? I mean, it's one thing to dominate the training ground or, the youth leagues. It's a completely different beast to step under the bright lights of a crucial senior match with the media's heavy Wonder Kid label hanging right over your head. Well, spoiler alert, they didn't have to wait long for an answer. Right from the opening whistle, his performance was a massive statement. He played with this mesmerizing confidence that, honestly, bordered on arrogance. He didn't look anything like a nervous teenager playing his first game against grown men. No way. Instead, he looked like a seasoned veteran, instantly demanding the ball and dictating the entire rhythm of the flank. And then we hit the defining moment, the 34th minute of the match. He receives the ball way back near the halfway line. He takes a quick second, assesses the field, and then, with this sudden, razor-sharp drop of his shoulder, he just explodes past his first marker. Literally leaves him in the dust. Now he is really moving. He's not looking for a safe pass. He doesn't slow down to evaluate his options. He drives directly with this terrifying kinetic energy right at the heart of the Moreirense defense. He attacks that space with a ferocity that catches the entire backline completely off guard. As the center back steps up, trying to stop this surging run, the teenager executes this seamless, lightning-fast step over. It is exactly, and I mean exactly, what Bölöni saw on the training ground. The sheer technical brilliance of the move completely unbalances the defender, taking him totally out of the play in a split second. And suddenly he's through. The goalkeeper sees the danger, aggressively rushes off his line to close down the angle. But amidst all this blinding speed and chaos, what does the teenager do? He stays perfectly composed. He just calmly chips the ball right over the Russian keeper and watches it drop beautifully into the back of the net. The stadium absolutely erupts. The aftermath of that goal is captured perfectly by this quote. After seeing that ball hit the net, he didn't just, casually jog back to the center circle. Oh no, he went on a frantic, adrenaline-fueled sprint straight toward the corner flag. In a burst of pure, unadulterated emotion, he ripped off his jersey to celebrate with a roaring crowd. It was a passionate, deeply visceral celebration that, as we now know, would actually become a massive trademark throughout the rest of his career. But you want to know the most incredible part? He wasn't even close to finished. If the first half was all about ground speed and technical dribbling, the second half showed us a totally different dimension of his game. He showcased his incredible aerial prowess, a trait that would, for sure, later terrorize defenses all across Europe. Leaping incredibly high above everyone else in the box, he powered home a brilliant, towering header. Just like that, he secured a 3-0 victory for his team, firmly cementing his full debut by scoring a spectacular brace. Now, amidst the roaring stadium and all those incredible athletic feats, I actually want us to just pause for a second, look at this deeply emotional contrast. Up in the stands, his mother, Maria Dolores, is weeping tears of absolute joy. Guys, this is the exact same boy who used to cry on a lonely public payphone, really struggling with being away from home. I think it's such a powerful reminder of the hidden human cost behind athletic greatness. And now, that immense sacrifice was realized as he undeniably announced himself to the entire nation. By the time the sun came up the next morning, the whole landscape had shifted. The Portuguese newspapers weren't just offering, polite praise for a good debut. They were loudly heralding the definitive arrival of a future superstar. Literally in the span of a single match, he had successfully transitioned from being just a promising academy project into a lethal, proven first-team weapon. And those ripples, they extended way far beyond the borders of Portugal. The secret was officially out. Because of the sheer, undeniable dominance of that debut, Europe's absolute elite clubs were now on high alert. The heavyweights of the continent knew right then and there that a once-in-a-generational talent had just awakened in Lisbon. Which really leaves us with this final, lingering thought. He had bypassed years of standard development. He overcame immense personal and physical hurdles. And he successfully conquered Portugal in a single, magical night at the Estádio José Alvalade. The only question left for this 17-year-old wonder kid was, how long until he conquered the world? Well, thank you so much for joining